Hey guys, so hey, today I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about something interesting I saw. So I was watching. I know, you're probably gonna pull my man card and shit, but I was watching. I had started watching with my ex girlfriend, with my ex fiance, that show Selling Sunset. I mean, it's just fucking junk food, right? And I like houses. I was trying to get some ideas for my home, and we said, well, we like HGTV, so we said, well, fuck it, we'll watch this, man. And there's some beautiful homes on there, right? Well, little did I know that this goddamn show on Netflix turned from a selling houses in Los Angeles, right, show, and showing, the houses and how they do them up to be able to sell them and that sort of thing. And little did I know it turned from that to a fucking soap opera. It was crazy, man, right? So, there's a lot of this drama on that show. And, if you want to, just watch it. Me and my ex would always just kind of laugh about it and just talk shit, really. And that's where the fun came. It was like, oh my God, look at these guys, look at these people, they're fucking train wrecks. They got all this money and they're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars just as commissions on these houses, but they're fucking train wrecks, man. Just they don't make good decisions at all, right? I mean, the one of the main, just to give you a little bit of background, right? It's two guys, right? They're twins, Jason and I don't know his brother's name, but they're twins, and they're little short guys, man. I don't know, maybe 5'6" or something like that. But they're maxed out though. I gotta give them that. I'll give them that, right? They're in really great shape. They're early 40s. They're actually younger than me, man. That's a trip, right? But they maxed out, man. They work out all the time, max out their bank accounts. I mean, they're really doing well, and they own a real estate company which is called the Oppenheimer Group, right? And they employ, I don't know, it's like 6, 7 women, right? That are real estate agents for them, right? And they sell $1 million homes in Los Angeles, and they're making a shit ton of commission off these homes, right? Well, when working, in a area with a bunch of women, you're gonna get some drama, right? And even these guys are in on the fucking drama, which I don't understand. But I'm drama free zone, man. So they're interacting, and there's all this dynamic, between the women. It's mostly the women, right, going back and forth. There's this one woman, her name's Christine. She's an absolute bitch, man. Oh my God. She's a bitch on wheels, man. And she gives shit to she goes around giving shit to every single woman on, in the group. And there's some shit that happens to her at the end, but for the most part, they pretty much get along, with the exception of Christine. She's kind of the outlier in the group, where she becomes the outlier, and there's all this dynamic and that sort of thing. Well, there's this woman in there. Her name's Chriselle, and I mean, hot. I mean, just smoking hot, and she's got a really cool personality and all this stuff. And she was married to, I don't remember what his name is, but he's on like This Is Us, and he was on Smallville for a little bit, and he was on some other shows. Real tall. God, I can't remember his name. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But anyway, real good looking guy, real tall. So she had a thing for tall guys. You know what I mean? I think he was like 6'3", 6'4", or something like that. And let me see if I can find it. Let me see. So This Is Us cast. I'll see if I can find it real quick. see. Justin Hartley. So Justin Hartley was married to Chriselle. I guess she was Hartley. Chriselle Stoss. Stause. Anyway, so they just got divorced, right? I don't know all the details behind it because I don't get into that shit. Number one, I don't know if they were cheating on each other or what was going on, but they broke up, and then she went through one season where she was having a really hard time, and she, with the divorce, and they showed all that shit. And then the next season, which was the very last season, the season 5, she got involved with one of the brothers from the Oppenheimer group, right? Jason. And wow, man. So it was interesting because I don't know about you guys, but I have trouble now that I'm that I'm fully red pilled. I had trouble watching it before, but now that I'm truly red pilled, it's really tough to watch. It's like watching a train wreck, man. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is season 5 started off as them, kissy, huggy, lovey, and all this shit, right? And he was all goo goo gaga over this chick, and she was goo goo gaga over him. I mean, you want to talk about burning desire. They both had it for each other. But they were just, I don't know, they were just kind of all over each other, right? And it, whatever, it's cool, man. But, I was just like, dude, just like every other guy, he sold out for a hot piece of ass, that sort of thing, and kind of lost himself because, he was doing things that was pleasing her for the most part, right? Well, there was a bunch of episodes. I don't know. I think there's maybe 9 or 10 episodes or something like that. And the first part of it, man, it was painful to watch because they were just all over each other and they were all in love. And the women, it's funny, but I don't understand this. I'll never understand this, right? Women, when they get together and they were talking about their relationship, man, they were like, oh, when are you going to get married? When are you going to, wait. When are you going to have kids? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? Oh my God. And the guy, Jason, right? He's a lifelong bachelor. I mean, he's in his 40s and he's still a bachelor and he's still doing his thing. And I mean, he has the life of Riley. I mean, the guy's making all kinds of money. He's dating like crazy. I mean, even though he's short, he's still getting chicks. He's still pulling women. He's not the worst looking guy in the world, right? I mean, he lost his hair and, he's got some challenges there, but he maxed out on everything else, right? And that's what I've been telling you guys and what a lot of the red pill community is telling you guys. It's like, guys, even though you may be short or maybe, there may be a deficit in this area, you can max out in other areas. You know what I mean? Like one thing that I've always been, I'll give you an example of myself. One thing that I've always been a little self-conscious of is my chin, right? Because when I was a kid, a lot of people used to make fun of my chin. Well, I had a thing where my jaw was growing faster than the rest of my face, right? So I had an underbite. I was dealing with that, right? My orthodontist fixed it, and now I'm, pretty good shape, but it was always something that kind of a deficit. So what did I do? I started lifting weights. I started really maxing out the rest of my body, and this was before all this red pill shit, man. I mean, I knew that from the get-go. I wanted to take care of myself. I was always an athlete. I was always doing my thing. And this guy Jason, man, if you get a chance, Jason Oppenheimer, go take a look at him, right? Guy's in fucking fantastic shape, maxed out everything. I mean, wearing multiple watch. I mean, just Rolex, almost every episode, different Rolex, I'm not saying that you got to be there, right? But I'm just saying, just because he's short, he's still maxed out on other areas, right? So anyway, so towards the end, right? And I was just like, man, this motherfucker sold out, man. He just sold out, sold his soul to the devil, and he's just like letting this chick run the show. And you should have seen it, man. He was just like, oh, Chriselle, this and that. And, he's all goo goo gaga over this chick. I mean, she's hot. I mean, I'll give her that, right? And she was hitting 40, I think, in one of the episodes or that year or something that they made that episode. And she started putting a little more pressure on him, right? About having kids, because she was getting all this pressure from all the women, and then she's turning 40 on top of that. And she said, so she basically gave the guy an ultimatum saying that, if you're not ready to have kids, then I don't think we can go any further. And that was a fucking pill of reality for the guy, man. He was like goo goo gaga one day, and then when that dose of reality came and hit him, he's like, wait a minute. Then he started really thinking about this stuff, and it was like, whoa. You know what I mean? So that said, towards the end, he did something that was totally unexpected, man. The guy did not sell out. He stayed alpha, stayed in his mindset, and broke up with her. He's like, no, I'm not. I mean, he didn't say it like this, but just by his actions, he was like, well, nobody's going to give me an ultimatum. And a little bit of a spoiler alert. I didn't mean to spoil it or anything like that, but really, this is a instructional video, right? Not to listen and not to go by what a woman is saying to you, right? And don't let a woman give you an ultimatum. If you're not ready for that, then don't do it, right? The other piece of this video is I wanted to share with you guys that I got a vasectomy, right? And quite frankly, that was a really tough decision for me, right? Because I always wanted kids. I always wanted to have a boy or girl, somebody that I can pass my name on to, somebody that I could teach things to. And when I realized a long time ago, before I started doing these videos, that I wasn't going to have that, that's when I wanted to leave a legacy, and I wanted to pass on my knowledge to somebody else, right? And that's the reason for these videos is, I'm going to talk about everything I can so that there's a digital footprint of information out there that I can pass on to somebody. If I only help one of you guys out there, fantastic. If I help multiple, even better. That's icing on the cake for me. But I see a problem. I see an issue out there that I had to struggle through that I really wanted to help with, And I had to learn the hard way by kind of muddling my way through life and learning as I go, because I didn't have that strong male role model, But I just knew it didn't feel right? I trusted my intuition, and that go see my video on intuition, man. It's, that's really important. You got to pay attention to that inner voice, that intuition, what your heart's telling you, because that's, for those of you who are religious, that's God speaking to you, man, and that's the way I see it, right? That's the way I've always seen it. God is speaking to me. God is telling me exactly what I need to know. And, it's important that you really pay attention to that. So, a lot of people were giving me shit about getting a vasectomy and telling me, well, no, you're still young enough to have kids. No, you know what? Okay, I look young, right? And I act like I'm fucking 12 years old, which is cool too. But the thing is that I'm 49 years old, right? Or I am going to be in 2 months. And by the time I meet somebody, let's say I met somebody tomorrow, okay? I have to vet them for at least 2 years, right? Then we spend a year maybe together or something. We get married, and then we get married and stay together for a couple years. That's 5 years, right? And then we have a kid. That's the way I would want to have a kid. That's a natural progression, right? You get with somebody, you vet them, you enjoy each other, you decide to get married, maybe spend, I don't know, maybe 8 months to a year being engaged. That way you get to fully vet and really understand the person. Then you get married, you live together for a couple years, then you have children. Then you bring children into the mix, right? But you have to build a good, strong foundation. And so many people, there's Einstein, so many people just get married and they start plopping out kids and they never figured each other out. You know what I mean? And that's not the right way to go. So, I was getting a lot of shit from people saying, well, you're still young, you can still have kids, and this and that. Well, if you do the math, and after 5 years, right, I'm 54 years old, by the time they graduate from college, I'm in my early 70s, or from high school, I'm in my early 70s going to a high school graduation, right? You know what I mean? I'm never going to fucking retire because a kid, they did a calculation the other day. I was watching on MSNBC with this abortion thing, going on. They did a calculation. It cost $213,000 for a child. That's college. That's raising them from, the time that they're born to 18. You know what I mean? And it's probably more than that. You know what I mean? My buddy who's an accountant did a calculation. He said it was over $250,000. So, that's not chump change. That's money you could be putting into a retirement fund and letting it grow, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying don't have kids. I'm just saying think about it, right? Because there's a lot of responsibilities with having kids, You got to put a lot of time and effort into them. My mom sat with me, did my homework with me, and talked to me. You know what I mean? My mom was in the era of a lot of Oprah, so she watched a lot of Oprah, and then she come and talked to me about it. And Oprah helped her raise me, kind of. You know what I mean? And my dad was, for the most part, pretty non-existent. He was pretty solipsistic and just, kind of stuck to himself. So, he only did things with me when he had to, kind of thing, right? So I never really had that strong male role model. I had my mom, and between my mom and Oprah, man, I came out like this. So, I figured it out going the way I did. I figured out what I do like and what I don't like. And ultimately, man, I just listened to my intuition. So the people that gave me shit about the vasectomy, I did the math. I did all the thinking behind it. I'm going to be too old. What am I going to be doing, man? I'm going to be 64 running around with a 10-year-old, and that's if I met a woman tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it just didn't make sense for me anymore. So a vasectomy was the way to go. I said, fuck everybody else. I didn't listen to anybody. And I made the decision. I was sitting in the chair and I was like, oh my God, dude. You know what I mean? But I did it. I'm proud of the decision. And now with this abortion issue and Roe versus Wade and all that stuff, you're taking risk out of the equation. So it's just important, guys, that you follow your intuition. You follow what you believe to be the right thing. I'm just telling you my mindset and where I'm coming from. I'm not saying don't have kids, but if you do decide to have kids, think about it and really put the time and effort into it. I think having a kid, they broke it down. The woman the other day was, it's like $1,100 to about $1,400 a month, right, over the span of their lifetime. That's no chump change, man. That is no chump change, and that's for the majority of people out there. So really think about it, guys. Really pay attention to your intuition, and don't let anybody sway you, man. Do what you want to do, And I was really proud of that guy, man, Jason Oppenheimer, man. I thought it was just a bullshit show, and he's just doing this thing. He put his name out there, by doing this show. I ain't mad at him. And I am so glad that he didn't fucking sell out like all these other dudes out there, man. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to belittle anybody who, has a family and who's chosen to get married and give up part of their life, right, for a woman. I mean, do your thing. Do your thing. I don't agree with it. And, the red pill community doesn't agree with it. I don't think you should get married. I don't think it's worth it. I think the ROI is too low. It's a risk. It's more of a risk than a reward at this time in our lives. And, having a kid, man, you need both parents. I don't care what anybody tells you, man. You need both parents. A woman cannot fill the man's role. A man cannot fill the woman's role. So think really clear about that. It's really important that you do. And Jason Oppenheimer, man, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you, man. I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it, man. I thought he was going to sell out, but no, he stayed real. He stayed a true G, and he said, you know what? I'm not making this decision. You want a kid, you go off with somebody else, man. There's there's a lot of fish out there, man. So go get you one. All right, guys. Hopefully that helped you. Hey, if you want to get my help, email me, set up some time with me. I'd love to help you out. Love to give you, my perspective on life and the world, and it's just experience, man, what I've learned over the years. So it's lessons learned. So love to hear from you. You guys stay out. Have a great day. Later.